Welcome to fixitforgetit.com, where projects and ideas come together.
Hi, this is John from fixitforgetit.com. Today we're going to have a look at how to restring a mini blind without removing it from the window. I'll show you the problem I'm having. When I raise this all the way to the top, as you can see right there, it's dropping down on the right side, left side snug. This little gap right there, that's the problem. And what happens is there's a little barrel up in here and it acts as a brake. Has teeth on the outside of the barrel that grabs this mini blind string. Over time, it frazzles and frays, degrades the string, it weakens, and then it will no longer hold. So we are going to fix that. Some of the things that you will need. First of all, this is mini blind cord. It's 1.8 millimeters. This spool has 100 yards on there. I believe this is polyester. That's important. You want to make sure you have mini blind cord, because if you use just a standard string, cotton, or anything other than this nice strong mini blind cord, it will not perform over time. This is just a little mallet with little plastic on there and a pair of small forceps, a little pair of scissors, some picks, a little straight screwdriver, a lighter, and a couple of clamps with a little rubber jaw in there, a little stool to sit on. And when you replace these strings, it's important to just go ahead and replace both of them at the same time. Don't just replace one. It's best to do them both. If you just replace one, especially if the new cord is a little smaller or larger diameter than the old cord, you'll have problems. And sometimes if you just replace one and you think the other is good, it's starting to frazzle and wear out as well. So it's best to just do them both at the same time. So let's get going on this project and I'll show you how to do it. First thing we're going to do is find out which cord controls which side of the blind. Right now I have this outside cord. I'm going to tug down on it, and if you look down here, you can see that's pulling the left side of the blind up. So that is the cord we're going to start with. And first thing we're going to do is flip this over. This little plug that's here, we need to get that off. I'm just going to put this pick in here and see if I can pry that loose. Okay, I've got it coming up just a little bit. Now I might take this little straight screwdriver, pry on it some more. You just want to go kind of easy and slow so that you don't damage this little plug, because we have to put that back in there. Starting to come out now. Almost have it. And there it is. So we'll just put that aside. And I'm going to bring this little bit of yarn out of here. And then I want to get this little piece of cord out of there. That's not wanting to do it. So this is one of the reasons we have these little forceps. See if we can get it with that, and there it is. So now we're just going to pull some of this out. And I'm going to grab right there just to make sure that doesn't go back up in there on me. And we want to get this little knot undone. They could be a little stubborn. Just keep working at it. There it comes. Now we're going to take this roll of cord and I'm going to turn it around like this so that the string is coming off this outside of the roll. I'm going to set it right on the floor. And now as that pulls up, that will just keep rolling toward the wall instead of rolling out across the room. We're now going to fuse these two cords together. This is the old left side cord and the new cord. This can be a little bit of a balancing act because we're going to melt these cords together, and keeping it hot enough so that it'll stick together without blistering your fingers can be a little bit of a trick, but let's give it a shot. A little warm. Kind of roll it to smooth that joint out. If that isn't fairly smooth, if there's a big knot on that, it will usually hang up as it's going up through there. So you have to be pretty quick about it. Now we're going to get this off of here. And you can see that because I pulled on it, it came up this raised way up. And remember, we were working with the outside cord. I just start pulling this now. And see, even though that's fairly smooth, it's wanting to hang up in here. And this will probably be, that's usually pretty strong though. This will probably be the tightest point that you'll have going up through there. So it is now coming up. You can see the roll down there spinning toward the wall. Look right here. Here comes our little fusion. We're just going to keep pulling that right up in, right over. Here it comes out, right there it is. I have the old cord here as a guide. I'm just going to bring this down and let it sit right there for a minute. Now I'm going to bring this little plastic pull up here, and again I'm going to have a little trouble getting that hard knot to go down through there. There it goes. So now that I have that up here, I can just take my scissors. Right there's where we fused it. Just snip right above that. Toss that aside. Put a knot in here. Have a little knot there. Make sure that that's snug. And now come down here. And I'll tell you what, just to make sure that does not pull backward on me. And so if you look up here for a second, if this pulls back and gets up to here or something and I don't notice and I cut it off down there and tie a knot, then this cord is going to be way shorter than this one. So it's another reason I like these little clamps. I'm just going to make sure this is a little low here. And I'm going to come up here and put that little clamp right there. Now this cannot go back up in there. And I'm going to come down here a little way, cut that off. Going to put a knot in here. Make sure I double knot it so that there's no chance that it'll pull out of there. I'm going to pull that knot back up in here. Now, this, you can see that there's a little web across there. Make sure that's square across the bottom of this, that you're pretty evenly spaced. Just kind of twist this. Put it down in here, tuck it back down in that hole. Now let's take this little plug, and this plug, I don't know if you can see, there's a little channel right there, just a little groove on two sides of it. Those grooves, you want to aim toward the outside of the rail. Those are to catch the cords. Now, if that fought me, I could use this little mallet, tap it in, but it went in there easily. It went in just fine. So now we have that side done. This, I just have a little loose loop in here because I'll probably wind up retying that when I'm done. And I'm just going to twist this and square the blind up a little bit. Make sure that this is all the way down. Okay, now we're going to come over and grab this other side. Just start out again by hooking that, getting it lifted up just a little bit so that we can get this screwdriver in here. Finish bringing it up. These things can be stubborn. Be careful because that screwdriver slips loose, it can stab you. Just kind of take it easy. There we go. Let's pull this knot out of here. There it is. Same thing as before. I'm going to get this loosened up. That's come loose pretty easy. Sometimes these are pretty easy, sometimes they're quite difficult. If they're too pulled down too tight, you can grab a hold of it with these little forceps and just use one of those picks and dig at pull on it with the pick, and you can loosen it up that way. But these, fortunately, have been coming loose pretty easily. Now, this is one of my least favorite things of this job, is trying to do that balancing act between fusion and blisters. So just hold it between your fingers and your thumb and finger. And if you have that flame down a little lower, it works a little better actually. Warm. We'll roll that together. This one feels a little heavy. And if you're not comfortable with being able to do this without having it drip on the floor, especially if you have carpeting down there, you might want to put a little bit of newspaper or a hand towel or something down in there to protect your carpet. Let's bring this up through there. See how it didn't fight us. Good. So now, come back up here, grab this back cord, start bringing it up through. See where we're at. Okay, if you look down there again, you can see that it's rolling on the floor up toward the wall, nice and cooperative. Actually, this is binding up on me a little bit now, so I'm going to have to loosen it. And it just keeps coming, and right there, that little nub is where we fused it together. We're going to grab our little plastic pull. Bring it up here. And grab these scissors. Right there's where we fused it. I'll get just a little above that. Cut it off. Do just a little temporary tie. Get this clamp off of here. Oh, actually, I'm just going to move it now to this one so that that inside cord doesn't come back on me. Then we're going to come down here, just come down a little way, cut it off. Tie a double knot. Make sure it doesn't come up through there. Bring that knot up inside. And once again, I'm going to make sure you get the tail of that string up in there. There we go. Again, I'm going to square up on this little cross cord, tuck everything in. And just stuff it down in there. Take our little plug, line up those grooves, front and back. Put it down in here. Beautiful. Now, let's get this clamp off of here. And we're going to just spin this in both directions, a little twister here. Make sure everything is opening and closing properly. And I'm going to pull this up here. Now I'm just going to go all the way up and down a couple times. Okay, so see, this right side's no longer hanging down. Left side's staying up good. We've confirmed that the repair worked. Okay, so now all we have to do is bring this one up level with this one. And you get the idea. Play around with this, tie and untie this till you get those level. Getting pretty close there. And then we will double knot that. Make sure it doesn't come back up through. And snip that off. And there we go. Now perfectly square. Everything worked out great. We have the cat tower back in place. The kitty's on the cat tower, and this project is finished. So I want to thank you for stopping by on this project as we had a look at how to repair the cords on a window blind without removing it. This is John from fixitforgetit.com. I'll have some affiliate links down in the description that will show you some of the products that we use on this repair, and those links will take you directly to those products. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next video.